I was listening to a podcast recently, the interview of Roland Griffiths by Tim Ferriss on his podcast, and I found it really enlightening. So Dr. Griffiths, who is a researcher exploring consciousness, psychedelics, he was recently diagnosed with stage 4, which is metastatic colon cancer. And as a result of that, he faced the same challenges that we all do, which is despair, maybe even depression, fear, and all of these emotions were coming up for him. And what he told in his interview was that as these different experiences and approaches to his diagnosis were coming up, there was one that he found really empowering. So once he got diagnosed, he said he had this sudden realization that one of the ways that he could approach it was through this gratitude for the preciousness of life. And because he knew that he had one of these cancers that probably were not curable, he could approach it in multiple ways. But the one that he chose was appreciating the finiteness of life. And when we're born, we're all actually given a terminal diagnosis. We are always promised death. Now, I don't know what happens on the other side, and no one probably really does, but we do know that this life is precious. I think about a rose, and when we get a dozen roses, or even a single rose, we appreciate its beauty, because we know that it is fading. Now, someone can give you a dozen plastic roses, and what you'll probably notice is that you may not appreciate it as much because it's going to last forever. But when something is alive and it's temporary, we know that it's precious. Similarly, our life is very precious. We're not around here on this planet Earth for a long time. The Earth has been around for 4.6 billion plus years, right? And we're only here for, 75, 85, 95 years if we're lucky. That is literally like a flash from a lightning bug or a firefly in the middle of the night. Boom, we're here. And then we're gone. So I invite you to really appreciate this short, finite life that we have. And of course, I'm going to relate this to ketamine therapy. And one of the things that I've noticed for our patients is they kind of gain this sense of finiteness. And some people will even have a near-death experience during their infusion. When that happens, they come back and they have a more gratitude, a sense of peace and calmness about death and about how precious all of our times here on earth is. So my challenge for you today is to appreciate life a little bit more, to actually think about death and the fact that you will die, I will die, my family will die, but at the same time knowing that this time that we have here is so, so precious, with all the ups, with all the downs, with all of the joys, with all of the sadness, all of it is finite. Let me know what you think about this. Leave me any questions, comments, and I'll see you in the next video.